Okay. I've been waiting for this moment for months, and it's finally here.
What I need from you, because you're the bosses of the town, essentially, and I know that, this is so hard. I need more money.
Hit me, I need the money.
This is the kind of spontaneous publicity, your name in print, that makes people. Things are going to start happening to me now.
Well, they sure are. Hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Monday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
I heard about that thing on the AM radio.
My name is Luke Burbank. I am your host.
It is our turn.
Coming to you from the Madrona Hill studio, perched high above the mighty Columbia.
This is special. This is special.
It is day one of TBTL-a-thon 15. Thank you for being a 10. And we've had weeks of TBTL-a-thons where it's been unclear if we were going to complete the mission, if we were physically going to be safe. I don't know if the stakes have ever been as high as they are this year, though, because it is predicted to be a record temperature today here near the Madrona Hill studio.
Things are going to get hot. They're going to get funky. Somebody better open the window.
And yet, as we sit here at 10 a.m., streaming to you live on YouTube worldwide.
You face. Who are you facing?
It's honestly a little bit too cold in the room, which is not how I was expecting it to feel. We have had all manner of fans running all night and all morning, and I would just like to report to the tens of listeners who are tuning in right now, and even those who are hearing this days and weeks from now, that as of right now, as we embark on episode 4244 in a collector series, the temperature is reasonably okay in
Let
here.
the fun begin.
So that is good because we have very important work to do this week, and that is, of course, keeping TBTL in business by raising some money here during the thon.
That cash could really get me out of a couple of jams.
And here to help me with that are a couple of my dear friends and colleagues at Too Beautiful to Biz. I will mention that on their way down here to the Madrona Hill studio, they did stop at Taco Time.
I might have tacos when I go home. I'm not quite sure yet.
And I haven't heard anything about their Taco Time stop, but I'm willing to say instinctively they did it wrong. I actually, they've literally not even told me about their experience, but I just know in my heart of hearts that they would have had a better time if I would have been there guiding them. So we'll talk about that and so much else with my good friend Andrew Walsh, the longest running Cobro of the show, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships.
Jalapeno.
Who's joining me right now from just to my left, studio right, if you're watching us on YouTube. Hello, my friend.
We did it, Luke. We finally have fans, at least 3 of them. I'm counting one above me and one to my right and one to my left.
Look out, OnlyFans. It's an entire new spin on that title. And, by the way, what we'll have to do if we aren't able to raise the amount of money that we need to this week on the show. Hey, great job so far on the setup here.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
We're broadcasting this, of course, and I'm watching the comments, and looks like we have audio. Looks like people are very impressed with the setup here in the Madrona Hill studio.
We don't have a shot of John. That's the one thing. If people are like, wow, fame and fortune, which that's coming later, right? We got the fame, the fortune's coming later, has gone to their heads. And they're no longer putting John, their fellow business boy, on camera. That is a technical difficulty that we are going to be fixing before tomorrow's broadcast. But he is in the room with us here.
He absolutely is. He's right over there. He's TBTL employee numero uno, John Sklarov. Hello, my friend.
Hey, I thought it was just jealousy. Maybe that's what was going on.
Exactly.
Hey, you've journeyed the furthest to get here. You flew yesterday from Minnesota out to Seattle, grabbed the rental car, went up to Andrew and Genevieve's, grabbed the gear, came down here. How was your journey in?
It was great. It was an easy flight, and the weather is beautiful. And I think I said to Andrew several times on the drive down to your place, the Pacific Northwest is just a beautiful place. Like, it's just, it really is. And I love where I live in the Midwest. But it's just really gorgeous out here, so it's really nice to be here right now.
The mountain was out on our drive down.
Sure was.
Yeah, I was teaching John some of the local slang.
Yeah.
The mountain was out in full glory as we traveled down the 5 and past the EQC Casino.
Where we did not stop.
Where we did not stop for all for as far as
For
anybody
legal
needs to know. Yeah.
purposes.
I believe, I'm trying to think, is it the Brothers Osborne who are redefining country music currently at the EQC?
I believe that is exactly what is happening.
I
at the
only know
EQC.
this because while watching the Seattle Mariners, I am subjected to a massive, massive number of EQC commercials. I believe Gavin DeGraw will be there with Kobe Kawe.
Oh, wow.
I like to start the TV Telethon weeks with promoting a local casino's entertainment offerings.
Would you say
so
it's
this
the
is-
biggest
and the best?
and the best in the
I'd
Northwest?
say it's two.
That's
two
what I
things
was
can
thinking.
be true.
Yeah.
Two things can be true. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, welcome. We can, because of this technology, we can theoretically take your phone calls, and we will. The phone number is 206-414-TBTL, 206-414-8285. But if you are watching this on YouTube, you will see that as of right now, I'm a little unsure of where to be looking, my friends, because this is, I think, the fanciest sentence I've ever heard. And I used to watch Frasier. This is the fanciest technical setup we've had in terms of the cameras. We have got, I think, 3 cameras going, right? And again, eventually, hopefully, 4 cameras, and one that will include our friend John Sklaroff. But we're having some battery power issues with that cam. We're calling that the 3-shot. But we have...
We're calling it the studio cam.
Yeah, thank you. And
Sure.
apology for the confusion. We have multiple cameras going so that you can see Andrew and I when we're talking. You can see me when I'm talking, Andrew when he is talking. And that's all being controlled over there by John. But what it means is I never know which camera is on.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed when you're watching the local news or a talk show and the host will say, wait, which camera am I looking at?
I love that. And a late night talk show, when somebody wants
Yeah.
to do a bit, they're like, which camera? Which
And those
camera? I
studio
love that.
cameras have these giant red on-air lights that will tell you very quickly what you're looking at. We don't have any of that here. We just have a panoply of laptops and Logitechs. So if I'm staring off into the middle distance and you're watching this on YouTube, or if any of us are, I want you to know it's not because I'm losing interest in the program. It's because I'm just looking at the wrong camera.
Well, this is where I need to probably not go into so much detail here, but we have, like you mentioned, a studio cam that is sort of malfunctioning right now. And the saddest thing about that is not that you can't see John on camera. It's that when that thing dies, what happens is my laptop computer camera becomes the default. So right now, there is a very unfortunate shot of me that I'm not even looking. I can see John is choosing that shot. I'm not even looking at it. I know it's coming up.
John
It's
is
come up hot
cyberbullying you to within an inch of your
from
life.
below. It's not a good look, but we'll leave it on, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna do the thing I've never done before in my life, which is make eye contact with you. I'm gonna make eye contact with John. Boy, is this how the other people live? They just make eye contact all the time?
Yeah, it's the window to the
weird,
soul. Now,
weird.
Andrew, if you do want to gussy yourself up, though, I would like to point out that I have a whole...
That's a cute mirror, man.
I've got a whole situation
Yeah.
here that I use. I've got, and you saw me applying this before the show. First of all, and I'm going to try to put this on the camera. I don't know what this is going to do. I guess a reflection. I've got my little handheld mirror that I will use before showtime.
That's a really cute mirror.
I
love
will
that.
stare into this and ask, who's the fairest one of all?
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Smurfette's mirror.
And I will apply a little bit. I have this red little kind of spot on my nose that I've had cauterized by the greatest cauterization doctors in Bellingham, Washington, the Bay City, and it worked for about 2 weeks before it just started kind of being red again. So I put a little bit of this Revlon Photo Ready. Am I pretty now, Mama? Am I ready for my close-up? I put a little Revlon Photo Ready on that. And then I've got this too, which I highly recommend. Andrew or John, can we go to a one shot for me? I just want to really show.
Absolutely.
This is the Elf.
Santa!
I know him. This is the Elf Perfect Finish HD powder. My buddy Paul, a camera guy that I work with, broke this out the other day when I was in an Oregon State prison filming. He said, "You're getting pretty shiny."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Well, because they might be on to me. They might not let me out of here." So now I use this. It's again, if you want to look your best and be your best, Andrew. I
do
recommend
want to hold this
you
mirror.
avail yourself of all of my little stuff that I use.
Oh, I'm not going to look at myself anymore. Thank you. Cute mirror there.
All right, let's talk about the drive down if we can. You did stop at a taco time, the two of you. I was, by the way, that was a real shocko time to me because I didn't know that this was on the agenda. We were texting yesterday as you were on your way down, and you just casually mentioned, We stopped at Taco Time. We're going to be running a little bit later than we thought. And I will tell you that my thought when I got that message was not one of happiness, not one of two of my favorite people in the world are eating at my favorite restaurant in the world. It was, why can't I be there to help guide them through the process? What happened?
Well, first of all, I did need help ordering, but there's something you should know, which is I did not go to Taco Time. John went to Taco Time. There was a Subway across the street, and I went to the Subway because I was more in the mood for that.
Okay, well, that first of all feels like some sort of a violation of trust. You were in the vicinity of a Taco Time, the restaurant that looms largest in our show's sort of existence, and you decided to go visit Doctor's Associates over there at the Subway.
First of all, by the way, and I know this is a story about Taco. Well, this isn't a story about Taco Time. It's about the human condition.
This is a story about when people betray their friends by not going to Taco Time.
I'm generally speaking not a big fan. I mean, I'm fine with it, but I'm not somebody who craves fast food Mexican food.
What about good, fresh? Talking about the very best.
Maybe, and especially when I'm in a car, like I lean towards like wanting. I like to eat fresh when I'm in a car. I don't know. There's something
like
about
a meatball sandwich.
Yeah, like
I don't know, something that just is really no muss, no fuss.
No. I just got a cold cut sandwich, which again I know is not health food, but like somehow it doesn't hang on me quite so heavily as I'm sitting in the passenger seat of a Jeep Willys. That's
okay,
right. Yeah, there's that.
By the way, let's put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to Subway, but John, you decided to try Taco Time. Let's just start with your order. What did you order?
Yeah, so I first of all, don't feel slighted. It was my call to stop for food because I had been traveling all morning and it was like past my lunchtime and I was starting to get hangry and mean to Andrew in the car.
We don't like it when John is hangry.
I didn't want to be yelling at Andrew in the car, so that's on me. It was fine. It was
what did you order, sir?
So I asked the person behind the counter what I should get, and they recommended the classic chicken burrito.
Chicken burrito or chicken soft taco?
Well, so here's the thing. I said I've never.
I don't believe they sell a chicken burrito.
Your
story is falling apart.
I said to them, I was like, I've never been here. What do you recommend? They're like, oh, well, definitely the chicken. A classic chicken burrito is really good.
I've never even heard. They have a classic chicken burrito.
I think that's what they called it.
Is it a chicken soft taco? Did it have shredded lettuce, tomato, and a kind of a white ranch dressing? They call it
definitively not a taco. Because I said to them, I was like, they're like
soft taco.
They said, do you want a burrito or a taco? I said maybe one of each because I have no idea how big these things are. And they said, great, go with chicken for the burrito. Go the classic chicken. I'm like, awesome. And then they're like, if you like a little spice, we can do like a habanero.
Yeah, they do have a classic chicken burrito.
Yeah, I'll see who's the liar now.
Well, this looks disgusting. I would never eat this.
Well, so I said, yeah, give me that.
And times are changing, Grandpa.
I shakes fist at burrito.
I said, give me the habanero one too, thinking it would be a taco.
Oh, I got habanero.
But they turned out to be 2 chicken burritos, which is way too much food.
So you didn't even give you order.
Does the habanero come with a Chapel Roan CD? This is way too 2024 for me. I don't like any of this.
I'm not opposed to going back to Taco Time.
You ordered the Beige Taco Club? Is that what you ordered?
Show title? Where's my bell?
Oh, yeah. Where is your bell?
It's back there. Forget it. I can't go get it because then the people watching on YouTube will see my gams. They'll see my legs. We are all beshorted. Oh, no, we're not.
No,
Andrew's got pants on.
I'm panted. Yeah.
So I thought you were creating a safe space for us to wear shorts during this very sweltering week, but then you opted pants.
I'll be wearing some shorts. I woke up this morning. I brought these jeans that are very this is not interesting, but these are very light jeans. Yeah, they're both light colored, and the texture of them.
I'm caressing them, and I can confirm they're light-ish.
So they're a nice feel for today, and I don't know how much we want to get into it, but honestly, when we got here today, you're so worried about the heat that it was actually really cold in here, and I wish I had a hoodie. Yeah, so I'm good. But
I know that's not how temperature works. By the way, we're not done with this Taco Time conversation.
Yeah, don't.
But in the spirit of the freewheeling nature of TBTL, even during a thon week, we'll just follow our flights of fancy. I have this theory about the temperature in here, which is if I can just turn it into a complete icebox during the morning times, once the sun is really beating down on this room, we'll have built up a certain amount of sort of good cold karma. But I also have all of the doors and windows open, which means that will probably not really matter. Like, it's just going to be really warm in the afternoon. It is what it is.
Well, I'll say
but for
right
now, it's totally fine.
The only fan you have on is the newly installed ceiling fan,
Yes.
which is
Go
first
Walt.
of all, looks great. I'm not just saying that. I wouldn't just say that. I'm actually quite withholding. But is actually really. I mean, I feel a breeze in here.
Yeah,
it's
and
really working.
Let me just explain, if we can, about that ceiling fan, which I talked about last week, how it was turning out to be more complicated than we thought, as is often the case. I want to be really careful with how I talk about this because I don't want people to get in any way the wrong impression of my dad. My dad is really the most inherently kind person I've probably ever met in my life. Andrew, I'd put you a close second. John's way down the list, weirdly.
Yeah, I know. He's
when he's hangry, he's probably in like 40th place. But my dad is such a kind person and also is not, for his age, a person who's given to kind of like stereotyping or like the kind of things that people of a certain generation might say, not even thinking that they were being less than inclusive, right? Mm-hmm. But so many things that are in this studio I ordered by way of the internet, and that means they were probably made in China. And what has recently emerged is my dad describing something he calls Chinese bullshit. And Chinese bullshit.
And that's not TikTok?
Chinese, no. He doesn't know bite dance from a steak bite. My dad has now become very frustrated with, okay, so see, not the orange sconces that hang above, not the orange pendants that hang above, but see that orange sconce
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
over where the coffee is now?
Oh, I've been noticing that. I've been staring at that since
It's
I got here.
it's a thing that I ordered on the internet to replace the thing that's in the bathroom that was the wrong
better.
color.
Even if the other thing came like you wanted to, this is a real story of a journey here because that thing is baller. I love that thing.
It's a lot. It might be too much for me, but it is what it is. At least it's the color orange.
It's the perfect amount for you, and I will not hear otherwise.
That is your taco time order. That is the hill you will die on. Is that sconce is good. Here's my point. That thing we're looking at that the viewers can't see and the listeners definitely can't see came from China, and what that means is the sort of wiring and the bracket behind it's all a little off. And what that means is that Walt had to really kind of sort of mess with it. And the same thing for the sconce that's in the bathroom. I've ordered all this stuff that's presumably been made in China, and when it shows up, the directions are not very clear, and it needs a little. It's not just like an easy plug and play process, right? So that is true about those things. But it has led to a frustration on my dad's part that whenever he's installing something and it's not going well, he starts talking about Chinese bullshit. What I couldn't describe to him enough was that this fan was purchased at the Home Depot. Mm-hmm. It is the Home Depot, I think, brand of ceiling fan. Now, was it made maybe in China? Sure, but it's not Chinese bullshit. It is not some thing that I bought from a weird website that came over on a shipping container and sat in Long Beach for 2 weeks. It is, as far as things you can buy, a pretty good product. But he was on a ladder muttering about Chinese bullshit so much on Friday that I thought he may have lost his damn mind. But it worked out. He got it installed, and it is cooling us right now.
And so when he's talking about Chinese bullshit, that is sort of shorthand. Are we sort of inferring here that it's sort of shorthand for him being disappointed that you've been buying a lot of stuff from the Chinese dark
I don't
web?
think he thinks about the kind of global macroeconomic implications. I think he just doesn't like that the screws don't line up with the bracketing in the wall or ceiling.
So I wasn't sure if this was sort of a meta conversation, like he kind of forgot that this one is from the Home Depot. Like he's okay with Chinese bullshit if it's coming from. Now you got me saying it.
Yeah.
From the Home Depot, like it's more like you've been bringing in a lot of stuff from strange retailers that he's unfamiliar with, and now that has sort of gotten in his head.
Yes.
Do you think that he would have been saying Chinese bullshit if everything you bought this whole time had been from the Lowe's or the Home Depot?
I don't think so. But I think now it's become, it's detached from reality.
Yeah.
It is detached from the reality of whatever device he's working on. And what it means now is I am frustrated by this process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could bring him some kind of piece of furniture that was made by Amish people in Indiana, and he would be putting it together, and if it was frustrating, he would say Chinese bullshit. And I would say,
right.
this is not an example of that.
Is it Quakers or Shakers? I hate to say that I get them
It's
confused.
Shakey's.
It's Shakey's. Who makes the like really nice wooden furniture?
Shaker.
Shakers, right.
Yeah.
So he could be assembling, or I
He
guess
could
you
be-
wouldn't have to assemble
It could be
a shaker.
stickly.
Yeah.
Anything from the arts and craft movement. He could be assembling something that's very handmade in America, but if it became a problem, he would then slip into Chinese bullshit.
Here's what I'm worried about.
Yes.
And this might be
That I've gotten us now pulled from many of the social media platforms that are run by Chinese bullshit.
No,
and that we are not going to be able to raise the money we need to.
It's that you've let John off the hook.
Okay.
There was a lot of grilling going on.
Okay.
There was a lot of hot seating going on.
Okay, yes.
And now,
I'm sorry. Let me warm that seat right back up. So,
Thanks, Andrew.
In my personal opinion, and there would be no way for you to know this, John. I want to explain that this isn't your fault.
Thank you,
Okay,
Dad.
but I really wish I could have been there with you at Taco Time, because I think, and I think people that know the bedrock, the foundation of the Taco Time experience is a quote unquote soft taco. The burrito, it's like there's too many other competitors in the burrito space. First of all, I didn't even know they made a burrito. My guess is, if you looked at the original Taco Time Northwest menu, because there was a point where Taco Time Worldwide and Taco Time Northwest split off.
that was my question for you. Did I almost said we? Did John go to a Taco Time that you approve of? Is this location?
Which
in the right
location
families?
did you go to?
So can I say, last night I was in my hotel room on Google Maps street viewing it to confirm it was the Tumwater location.
Tumwater, sure. I know that one.
That legit?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That's Taco Time Northwest.
Okay.
I've been there many, many times.
But
you run a real gauntlet
can
getting
I
to that
say-
one. I believe there's a Jack in the Box.
There is.
Yeah, there was.
You're near a McDonald's. You've really got there's a Subway.
Yeah. So here's the thing, Luke. I'm not opposed to going there with you. I'll eat tacos every day if you want. That's great. It was a soft burrito. They didn't even, this surprised me. It wasn't even like, if you go to Taco Bell, say, they will warm the burrito so it's got that crunch on the outside and it kind of seals the taco. They didn't do that. So it was basically, or the burrito. So it was basically a soft shell taco just folded, wrapped up.
But you're saying you got and I looked it up. There is something on there that is technically called the classic chicken burrito. But
and the habanero burrito. Chicken
well,
burrito.
that's I mean habanero was invented like 3 years ago. As a flavor, what I'm telling you is that listen, I as a youth would sit in a Taco Time at 9 a.m. before it opened, watching Walt put up menu boards. I personally pulled out the in-between parts of the vinyl letters for casita burritos, for crisp burritos, for soft tacos. There's nobody more intimately familiar with the menu of this place. A classic chicken burrito. I don't even remember pulling those letters as a kid. I think that's.
Can I ask you a
Here's what I
question?
think happened.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put forward a hot take,
Yeah.
and maybe some of the folks from that Taco Time podcast that I was on can let me know on this. I have a feeling that at some point when you had the rise of all this burrito culture, right? Taco Time decided, we can't get left behind. People want burritos now. We're going to start something called the classic chicken burrito. We're going to slap it on the menu. My guess is that was not on the menu in, say, 1987.
Yeah. So can I just, you obviously know us better than I do, and we can certainly call Kevin Pelton, right, at some point and see if that's true. And also, I should say, people watching in real time, there's a lot of conversation about people getting very hungry in the comments. So maybe we move away from this conversation.
Somebody talking about the audio levels, everything is sounding good out
I
there?
haven't seen any negative things about it. Hypothetically, maybe not when you were growing up it was a thing, but classic, was it possible that they at one point did introduce a chicken burrito, and now in 2024 it's the classic?
Yes, it's possible that this has been there for 20 years.
Right.
But that is still, much like the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, that will always be a brand new thing.
Well, they're just the Rays now.
I don't care
They dropped
if
Devil.
I don't care when the Tampa Bay Devil Rays have been around for 45 years. They will be a new team to me.
Expansion team,
also
yeah.
the San Jose Sharks will always be 1 year old to me. Like there are things that will always be like recent, even if there's been 4 decades of it. And for me, something like the classic chicken burrito is one of those things. What I would have recommended for you, and what we will do, John, when you and I. And by the way, Andrew, I'd like to tell you this: the Taco Time that I will take you, my home store now, my home Taco Time. Guess what is across the parking lot? A Subway.
Right.
So you can still go visit the Subway. But what I will have you get, John, is a chicken soft taco, chicken soft taco, the whatever they're calling them now, they don't call that, and by the way, shout out to Taco Time. They're not calling them Mexi Fries anymore.
Tater tots, because that's all they are.
I forget what they're calling them, but they changed that name, which good job. Be open to change and inclusion, or not putting a weirdly racist name on your French fries or your tater tots. I will recommend for you a chicken soft taco. That I think is the sweet spot, and that is the classic, because I think the soft taco in my whole growing up experience was always part of the Taco Time thing. I think that's what they do best. Now, I also understand, Andrew, why you are not so big on Taco Time, because the best part of anything you eat from Taco Time is this weird, quote-unquote, ranch dressing that they put in stuff, which is really just a sour cream, but it's like the Colonel's like herbs and spices. It is like some proprietary thing where they take some amount of ranch dressing and some amount of something else, and they mix up this whole thing, and it is nothing like ranch dressing.
With a taste that's oddly familiar. I have,
but I don't think you like that anyway.
No, I don't go for sour creamy things. I don't go for like any kind of usually kind of white crema on my food. I have something. I've been holding my tongue here for a long time, and I realize that we're all the printers. I think the copiers got everybody a little bit worked up, but
Santa must have gotten up very early to bring you this episode.
Oh, that nasty old elf! All right, I have a theory that I think might be considered a hot take here, and I think that John's going to give me some flack for this. But based on everything I'm hearing from John and everything I'm hearing from Luke and everything I'm hearing secondhand from the person who helped John prepare his order yesterday, the description of the soft taco, which is a very oversized soft taco, which is going to have a lot of the same ingredients as a burrito. John thinks he ate 2 burritos yesterday. Is there a chance that you actually ate a burrito and a soft taco?
No, they were It was. I know a burrito.
I will listen. I can get to the bottom of this once and for all. Did it have rice in it? The product you were eating.
I think.
You think so?
Listen, man.
What do you
I can't
like?
Even have this
throw it in the air and eat it like a killer whale at SeaWorld?
I kind of did, because we told Luke we were going to be there. We got to go set up. I horfed these things down the car.
You don't remember? Oh, you were driving.
No. We were parked in the parking lot. I was like, I got to hit the car. We got to hit the road. Well, because Andrew went across to Subway.
Right.
It'd be weird if he brought a sandwich in, and I went eat alone in the Taco Time.
Gotcha. Yes.
So we ate together in the car.
Because if there was rice in it, then it was, and I'm just basing this on the website, it was the classic chicken burrito. If there was not rice, it might have been in the soft taco department. Listen, we don't need to litigate this anymore here. We can go to a real Taco Time together and revisit this whole thing at a future point this week.
We don't need to litigate, but I do want on the record, Jonathan Harris Sklarov.
Ooh, that's your middle name.
Yeah,
this is like serious. Franco.
Do you respect him a little bit more?
I kind of do.
I have a lot of respect for you.
Like
don't take
the
that
immaculate reception.
This is a serious point I want to make.
Okay, this is a serious message.
I know the difference between a taco and a burrito.
No, you think you do, but the problem is, listen, my friend, it's okay.
Not on you. I think they muddy the waters.
That's what I'm saying. This is a Northwest specific thing where they're calling some sour cream thing ranch dressing. They're calling burrito soft tacos. Up is down, right is wrong. Dogs laying with cats. It's a weird world that I wouldn't expect you to. I wouldn't expect you to understand it, John. You couldn't even begin to understand what's going on at a Taco Time.
Things you shouldn't understand.
Well, I'm excited to go with you.
Okay,
yes.
I have
I'm not saying your experience will be any better, but I will try to give you. In fact, it'll be likely worse, because I'm going to be sitting. I'm going to be perched over you like a hawk.
I'm going to need a stool so I can sit.
I'm going to be pre-chewing your food, and I'm going to spit it into your mouth.
Oh my God! Yes. All right, I'm a little anxious here because there's a couple of more points I want to make regarding the trip down, and then I know we really want to talk about the TBTLathon and how people can support what we're doing here. I just noticed we've totally lost my camera now too. That's interesting, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. We have the 2-shot. That's the important one.
Right there.
But okay, good. Okay, here's what I was going to say regarding Subway. Just a quick point here. We don't have to do the whole Taco Time treatment to this, but regarding ordering things in classic menus, do you recall, Luke? I'm going to say it was about this time last summer. We had some pretty significant conversations on the show about the changing menu at Subway. They introduced all these other kind of fancy sandwiches and everything, and then I actually did the only kind of journalism I've ever done before, which is I ordered a sandwich face. I marched myself down to a local Subway to check out the new menu, and then to see, if I could order what I used to order off of the classic menu. And it turns out their big menu board showed off all the new stuff, but there was a smaller menu that says, hey, you can still order the spicy Italian or the BMT or whatever, right? And
I've always maintained one of the most unfortunately named,
the BMT, named
it sounds
after
like
that
something
Subway
else.
stop, But anyway. And so I've been able to do that. Now, I have not gone to a Subway in, I guess, some time now. And so as I walk over to the Subway that's kind of across the street from the Taco Time, I go in and I'm staring at the menu. They don't have the old classic menu anywhere anymore. Now, you can just basically build your own sandwich, but I don't remember I always got the BMT and the spicy Italian confused. I just order one of those and say no cheese and then put the vegetables and stuff on. And yesterday, I'm staring, and luckily, the person behind the counter, who at first I was like, oh no, he looks like he really doesn't want to be at work today, but it turns out he was a really helpful guy, and I really appreciate that, because that is not an easy job. What is the town again? He's like working at Tumwater off the highway.
The gateway to Lacey.
On a hot Sunday afternoon, and this guy was really nice.
Can I just add a little addendum to that? I would say that in my experience, I've had more surprisingly good customer service moments with people who are working at a very beleaguered Subway sandwich shop. There's one that is near Becca's place down in the South Waterfront of Portland. And I'm trying to remember what happened. Oh, you know what it was? I think it was when we had this ice storm. So everything was closed. But it was the only thing that was walking distance, because you couldn't drive, right? It was the only thing that was walking distance that wasn't closed. And I walked in, and the guy, one dude working there, and he was like, I just got to tell you, this is what I'm out of right now. And there was no resupply coming. But then based on what they still had left, he crafted something for me and was so helpful about it. And this was a guy who was the only thing standing between this entire neighborhood and starvation was this one guy at this Subway. And that's experiences like that. There's a Subway south of here somewhere that had I got there one time at 9:58. And I walk in, and there are these two teens, right? Now, when I was a teen and I worked at Bumpy's Fruit and Yogurt, that place closed allegedly at, I think, 10 p.m. Peter Williams and I had that thing shut down by 9:15 latest. We had the chairs up. We would mean mug anyone who came in because we did not want, A, to be there, and B, to have to re-clean everything. These two teens, when I walked into this Subway 1 minute before they closed, were so helpful, so thoughtful, even though I was like, and can I also have peppers? Does that mean you have to reopen the peppers? No problem. And can I get a Diet Coke? They're like, no problem. They had to get these. There's a weird thing that goes on the fountain drink that you clean every night that goes on the nozzle.
I hope they're cleaning those every night.
But they had to go get one out of the cleaning solution. But they were so kind to me, even though I was doing the thing that would have made me so ticked off if I were
I need you to be strong right now.
I know. I'm already stressing.
The mail
I'm
delivery
already
person
stressing.
is
And
here.
now she's about to see us. I mean, if normally she sees me engaged in a version of self-love, this is a straight-up orgy of podcasting.
Yeah.
No?
Can I quit?
Yeah.
Not until Friday.
Even during a usual show, you get very uncomfortable when the
mail person shows up
during your recording. And now, now at least you can show that now there's proof that you're not just talking to nobody. That there's actually somebody at the other end.
Maybe I'll get lucky and she'll just assume this is a support group. By the way, it also doesn't look like the regular person.
Oh, okay.
That's the crazy part.
Good?
I guess probably it's not the same person.
Okay.
Surprisingly, but
anyway,
yes.
we're gonna get through this.
Okay,
together.
so back to your sandwich order.
So unfortunately, the Subway website here forces you to choose a specific Subway in order to see the menu, which is really bad design. I think it's not very helpful to me right now. But here's the deal: they no longer have the here's our old offerings over here to the side. They've revamped the menu entirely, and they have two sandwiches that sound sort of like the old sandwiches that I used to get. One is like the Super BMT or something like that, which sounds even worse.
Yeah, no,
right? Yeah.
God.
And then there's ones
You're
called
gonna want to steam clean the bathroom after that.
They also have something called the steam cleaner, which that didn't sound super great to me either.
The Punisher. The toilet bowl is what it will be punished.
But then they had the other, whatever this spicy Italian was is now called like the New York Spice-A-Roni or something. It's not that, but it's something like that. And then like
the New York, I'm spicing here.
And like the like board shows what's on, and it's mostly like the other ones. Only they both have double cheese. Now I always order these without cheese anyway. So I said to the guy, I'm like,
can you
trying
pay?
to get the
I
BMT.
order them with double cheese. Can you somehow?
Yes.
Can we set up a system where I get your cheese you're not using,
like a
and so I don't have
credit
to pay
system,
more?
a cheese credit system,
like a credit swap, like a cheese swap.
Well, I did. So this fella behind the counter is very helpful. I'm like, hey, I don't want to be a pain. I'm just curious. You guys not do the old BMT stuff anymore? He's like, no, we have these two things. They're like closer. I'm like, okay, well, can I get like the super doopy BMT or whatever, but no cheese? He's like, you can, but like the whole thing about it is it has double cheese, and I can only ring it up at that price. And I was like, oh, don't. Yeah, I'm like, just don't worry about that.
I'll just take a classic chicken burrito and be on my way.
I did say, and he kind of laughed because I kind of wasn't joking. I did say, I'm like, oh, don't worry about that. I'm like, if you want to throw a couple of extra cold cuts on there or something, do it. And he just sort of laughed, and I wasn't sure if that laugh was like, yeah, what kind of a world do you think we live in that I can throw extra?
Wow, so you got a
on
very like official kind of rule following type of person, sandwich artist.
I'm not sure because where they make in this particular Subway, and I told you I was not going to belabor this, and I'm doing that. The place where they make your sandwich with all the vegetables is behind glass where you can see them making it, but where they make the sandwich with the cold cuts, I've never seen this before. They had like a metal thing that was blocking my view, so I couldn't actually see.
I don't like that. A real black box situation.
What are they hiding? Like, so I couldn't see like and I wonder if that does have to do with people saying I want more meat or something. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't see the sandwich making process. At the end of the day, the sandwich was fine, but talk about not being able to go home again. Like, I've watched my menu items that I ordered for years and years shrink significantly until it was in the corner, and now it's not available anymore. So anyway, if anybody has any input on that, let me know.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
real quick input? So, Luke, the way I need to go with you to Taco Time,
Yes.
I need to go with Andrew to Subway because I was a sandwich artist in
Oh,
a
that's right.
beleaguered
Of course.
sandwich shop.
And I bet
Subway.
your customer service was off the charts.
It was
'cause
pretty
you're
good.
a very helpful
It
person.
was fine. I was 17 or whatever, 16.
yeah.
But I could go there with you, Andrew, and tell you exactly what's in the BMT
And then
what's in
just
spicy.
order a
Yeah,
border,
like, you-
or build your own.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
can get you a card and laminate it, Andrew, that you can just
yeah.
bring places, or
love
even
that.
just wear it around your neck.
a placard.
A placard that just says, "This is my Subway order, please."
If found, please order Andrew this sandwich.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that. All right, one last tale from the trip down here that I really need to tell you.
Is it Jeep related? Because
It is.
I
do you want to hold off on Jeep talk?
no,
'Cause
no, I
have-
want to
yeah.
hear this.
John,
Yeah.
I want to say this in all earnestness. I love you, and you are a great person.
I'm
going to
Yeah,
roast
hold on.
you. I'm going to roast you a little bit
the
here,
heck?
but it's out of love, and I don't want you to think that like, oh no, I come to Washington State to podcast with my co-bros, and I'm going to be the butt of jokes, and that is not the dynamic that we are setting up here. Having said this,
Boom. Roasted.
something happened on the way here that I just found so delightful that we got to talk about.
Oh,
and
okay.
it begins with John rolling into my driveway to pick me up, which was great. So John rented a car. He came all the way north from the airport. That's like a 30-minute drive at least to pick me
Probably
up
worse
at
with
home. Probably were 40 maybe, so that we could load up all of this equipment and then re-drive past the airport and come all the way down here. And that was a huge help, and I appreciate it. You rented the car. You got like a mid-size or something last week, but you rolled up in a Jeep Willys. Apparently you got the upgrade.
Yeah.
Now, let me just, for folks that missed last year's Thon, that was random at that time. I think I flew into SeaTac, and the rental car they provided to us was this Jeep. It was just like an upgrade or something, probably Wizard status. And we all kind of fell in love with that vehicle,
Well, with
driving
the
it around.
lifestyle.
Yes, that's right. And I think you were booting it in the ass.
That's right.
Fairly
That's
frequently.
right,
I saw
yeah.
a whole other side
That's
of you.
right. I was driving that a lot.
very
Yeah,
sexy
yeah.
side of you when driving the Willys. And I'll tell you what, I was surprised when you guys rolled up here to the Madrona Hill studio. As I was watering my crops, powerful Farmer Burbs vibrations. But anyway,
hat really made
I
it.
looked up, and there you were in a Jeep Willys, and I just thought, well, maybe this is the official vehicle of TB Telethons now.
And that was your choice. And again, you're a very responsible business boy, but you're like, we're gonna sprinkle a little bit extra cash on this
Sure.
so that we can have the Jeep Willys.
Yeah. So
how much extra cash did this Jeep Willys set us back?
Okay, so I don't want to get into too many specifics.
How many classic?
That is a bad answer.
How many classic chicken burritos?
I need
are we
everyone
out?
to become a dazzling donor right now. No, we the three of us are going back and forth trying to find a good rental. Andrew's like, "Hey John, would you mind taking care of this?" For whatever reason, I'm only finding them high prices.
Yes. And we found out,
yeah.
too, I just want to mention that there's a lot of jokes made at my expense on this show, and that ends now. No, we talk a lot about my wizard status at Avis, but holy smokes, that makes a real difference.
It does.
Not to get into the minutia of car rentalship, but like what the going rate was for this car for a week, and what, unfortunately, I couldn't rent it under my account because then I would have to be there to actually take possession of the vehicle. So we just had to go with and this is, by the way, why we really need to raise some money this week, because we spent our entire Thon budget on this rental Jeep. But no, the prices that were coming back were pretty high.
Yeah.
The estimate that you got with your wizard status was literally a tenth of.
I mean,
what
go
we were being
Skydance.
quoted.
I would like to
guess,
salute my new bosses at Skydance, which is apparently who I work
Oh,
for
yeah.
at CBS now.
They sold.
They're
Paramount,
acquiring
right?
Paramount.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's all.
Oh,
approved.
wow.
Thank you, Larry Ellison's son. I would
Yeah.
just like to tell you I've always loved your dad's work at Oracle.
The Golden State Warriors, I think, right?
Probably.
Maybe, or, I don't know.
I actually think Larry Ellison's a bad dude. I think
No.
he's got some maybe bad political takes. But all that is to say, the rental car was surprisingly expensive on paper, but there was kind of no way around it. John, you did find a kind of a good deal.
Yeah. So I will say, so when Andrew and I were texting about this, I found I found a number that was very reasonably in our budget, and I said, "Hey, this is what it costs." The next day is when I actually went to go book it. It was like $200 cheaper.
Oh,
So I
nice.
was like, great. So I booked the midsize at that lower cost. When I went to go get the car, I said, "Hey, I'm thinking about upgrading. Do you have a Jeep Willys?" And as some people are commenting on YouTube, it is a Jeep Wrangler. Willys is like the addition or whatever it is.
Okay, so a Willys is an upgrade from a Wrangler?
It's a type of Wrangler, but it's an upgrade from the
okay.
midsize we were going to get.
Got it, okay.
And they said, yeah, it's this much more per day. And I said, no way, because it was like some ridiculous
How much more
cost.
per day?
It was like an extra $50 a day.
A day. So
And
we're going what?
a lot.
Okay, so
So I said no. I said no.
hold on. It's only 30 more seconds.
Yes.
I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Forget it. Let's just go with the midsize. And she was like, okay. So I go down the floor. And the guy who I give the
Did you
slip
steal
to,
this Jeep?
Listen, we need a Danny.
Maybe multiple.
And the guy comes over and he's like, oh, and then he said to me, and I saw the Willys was right there because they pulled it around expecting I was going to take it. And it's sitting right in front of me. And the guy says, hey, you thinking of upgrading? I was like, well, I was thinking of the Willys, but it's a little too much for our budget. And he said, well, what'd she quote you there? I said, an extra $50 a day. He goes, I could do it for $25 a day.
Okay.
So I said, that actually puts us back at the original
Right.
price I found when I told Andrew, like that couple $100.
This was
difference.
Enterprise, right?
Enterprise.
I find Enterprise the most fascinating rental car agency. Do you know that for a period of time, and it might still be the case, Enterprise was the number one hirer of recent college graduates in America? The whole thing with Enterprise is they just carpet bomb job expos at colleges, and they really want to hire a certain kind of sort of go-getter who's recently out of college and wants to learn business skills. They want to be a business person. And it's like a very big, like, it's a management training thing. And they also, though, are very much always kind of trying to upsell you in a way. Like the fact that a second person met you to say, like, what's it going to take to get you into this Willys? You would never get that kind of attention from Avis, even if you're a wizard. They have no system for getting you into a car that's slightly more expensive than you meant to be in.
Yeah, no, they definitely wanted to upsell me. But the whole point of that is to say the total cost of the rental, even with the upgrade, is what I originally found that we budgeted for.
Yes.
So the midsize would have been a little cheaper.
Yeah.
But
oh, wait, hold on. Do you think this is what I'm roasting you about? This is not even the point of my
This is
story.
This is not even what he's mad
it's
about.
not even the money.
I did assume it was the money, too.
Yeah. What? Wait.
No. I just want to do a step. I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you.
I just wanted to establish the fact that we are now Jeep boys again, right?
Yeah.
And what we learned last year is that there's a Jeep culture that goes around being Jeep boys.
Right.
Which I had completely forgotten about. So
Yes.
we really enjoyed driving that Jeep Willys last year. I think I was the primary driver during the last thon. John's been driving, and again, I actually really appreciate it. John's been doing a lot of the driving over the past couple of days. But do you remember, and I'm sure you do, that there, by the way, I just realized.
I know where this is going.
I just realized we've had a caller on hold for 37 minutes and 30 seconds. Thanks for hanging in there, caller. I had forgotten that we got excited when we realized Jeep owners consider themselves part of sort of a Jeep club.
Yeah, there's a lot of waving.
And there's a little kind of a very casual, cool guy wave.
Sometimes
that
just
one
hand
Jeep
on
owner,
the steering wheel.
Yes.
Kind of a thing.
Exactly. So I had forgotten about that until we are driving down the highway. And
we got off the highway. We weren't on the highway when this happened.
I'm quite sure we were on the highway because he passed us on the left.
We were turning, I think, to get onto the highway. It wasn't on the highway.
Okay.
You tell your version of the story.
I believe we were on the highway, and we're talking. I'm looking out my window, whatever. The next thing I know, John has turned into a Labrador Retriever who has not seen his family in 6 months. I've seen soldiers come home from war and greet their dogs.
Yes.
And dogs have been more blasé than John was as he reached across the console and grabbed my...
John's driving.
John's driving. And he's grabbing my arm and saying, he did it! He did! Andrew, he did it! Look! And he's pointing out the window and there's a Jeep passing us on the left and there's some cool looking chill guy who I'm just catching the end of his little wave towards us. And I gotta say, if the culture of Jeep culture is that you kind of give this cool guy wave, John's reaction to this was the least chill. I don't think we're allowed to be in the Jeep club anymore. What I saw from you was a level of excitement, which was, honestly, I wish I had that much spirit left inside this old husk of a soul of mine. Yeah. But on the other hand, probably runs counter to what the spirit of the Jeep wave is.
See, I want to just defend John for a minute. I think it's a big tent.
He's right.
It's a big tent, the Jeep culture, and I think they need excited boys as much as they need chill boys.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You know,
you need some defense there, but I will say you sprung to life in a way that I have just never seen before.
I can tell you definitively, we were pulling up to a stop sign or a light, and we were turning right because this guy was coming from the other direction, from the crossway, and turning left.
This person was not coming. John, we're thinking of a different thing because we commented on the back of it. For a second, I thought he had Punisher plates over the back of his tail light. You're picturing something else. He was passing us on the left.
The guy I was thinking of didn't give us the wave.
Yes, there was another guy who did not give you the wave.
Did he though have Punisher plates?
He probably heard about the first guy. The first guy told the Jeep network. No. This guy passed us on the left, and he did. I think we did not have Punisher.
No,
Okay.
No. I think it was a pirate skull, like
maybe.
Yeah. Now I'm sorry. I misremembered, and you're right. And I definitely grabbed your arm.
You literally grabbed my arm and pulled me close to you.
John, I love this. I absolutely love this level of enthusiasm, and I don't let Andrew dim your light at all, please, because I think if I were a grizzled Jeep driver and I saw someone driving a Willys and they were psyched about my wave, that would make me... It's like to just see somebody who's as Andrew said, young, their spirit is not yet crushed. They're excited about... And you know what? Honestly...
I'm on the wrong side of that story. Sorry, John.
We need... That kind of enthusiasm is the dilithium crystal that powers TBTL. Yeah. And I mean that. Over-exaggerated enthusiasm for this show is really what we're here to tap into this week.
Thank you for being a 10.
Because, of course, this is TBTL-a-thon 15. And we have some amazing thank you gifts that we have hand forged. And by that, I mean we have done nothing on the bracelets. More on that coming up. But in the meantime, John, can you take us through a little list of the awesome thank you gifts that we have for folks at various levels?
Absolutely, yeah. I should have had this pulled up like a good employee.
Well, you're busy defending yourself from personal assassination from Andrew. Well, actually, really, to be honest with you, you're getting both barrels. I was assassinating your Taco Time ordering character, and Andrew was assassinating your Jeep driving character.
Yeah.
So
no,
anyway,
it's
I hear
okay.
you'll be heading back to Minnesota tonight.
No, that's okay. I'm going to drive the Jeep all the way home.
Yes.
So for everyone who donates,
yes,
everyone, you get the TBTL friendship bracelet. One of us will hand make it.
Maybe.
I feel like I owe you several friendship bracelets right now.
Yeah.
I just like to point out that I'm wearing my Business Boys one right now from Danielle Walsh.
You know what? I'm putting mine on because it's time to do some business, boys.
Yeah.
It's time to raise some money for TBTL.
Andrews is around his mic stand, so we're all representing the Business Boys. I also have the TBTL one. I got the 4,000th last year from Danielle's children. And then a couple my wife made for me because that's
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So we all
every donation will get a handmade TBTL friendship bracelet, which will have. When are we going to actually reveal what is going to be on the bracelets? Maybe. When do we think?
We need some excitement later this week, right?
Okay.
We're
gonna again. Let's
and
run.
We need somebody to remind me.
Let's run through. Yeah, I sent a panicked text last week because I had forgotten what the phrases were, and I was worried they were going to be too long to fit on a bracelet. But we'll come back to the topic of the bracelets because I know this is a big thing for the listeners. But what else do we have as a thank you here during the?
The other physical items we have are all Junior Sluggers related, which is awesome. People have been very excited about that. So at the $10 a month level, you're gonna get the.
Doesn't it just kind of hype you up?
A day after both our teams lost yesterday. So at $10 a month, you get the TBTL pennant, which is, I think we've described it as the collegiate varsity letters. Andrew designed it. It's really slick. It just looks really awesome.
It is.
Imagine it in your study or your bedroom.
Yeah.
If you went to Texas business
teaching,
learning.
Then
I
think that's what it stood
for. Yeah, that sounds right.
Display it with pride.
Yeah, so that sounds right.
Nice.
So that's the $10 a month.
Okay.
At $15 a month, you get the Junior Sluggers ball cap. Which very excited about that. You also are a daily donor at that point.
Sure.
So you
we'll
get
read your
thanked
name
on air when we start doing that later this year. At $25 a month, you're still a daily donor, and then at that point, you also get a Junior Sluggers Raglan tee. I've been it's confirmed. That's style.
I don't.
But people know that you say, "Hey, can I get
Andrew,
one of them?"
John, don't make me come at you a third time.
Google Raglan tee. And
sure, we'll Google a lot of things, but do people? It's
don't.
champing at the bit instead of chomping at the bit.
That's
do
true.
we correct people on that? Yes, we do because we are insufferable. Okay, it's a Raglan. I'll call it a Raglan. You
It's
win.
the 3/4 length tee with the TBTL across front, and it says Junior Sluggers on the back with the number 10. That's super awesome.
I'm
Like
so
Luke said,
proud of this.
Picture, I think you said this on the show, maybe almost picture kind of beer league softball kind of jersey. Yeah, I love
it's the 80s. Your mom is dating a guy named Dale. He comes over after playing softball for the transmission shop that he works at.
to go over some paperwork.
He smells like cigarettes and funny water. But it was the 80s, so nobody cared. So imagine that shirt he was wearing.
But it says TBTL, not Dale's Transmission
No, it
Shop.
does not say Dale's Transmission Shop. Next year, it'll say Dale's Transmission Shop.
At the $50 a month level, that's a dazzling donor,
Yes.
as it has been for several years.
It's a dazzling donation of dough, and we do appreciate it.
Absolutely. So as a dazzler, you get all the physical, all three of those items before the pendant, the hat, the shirt, and the bracelet, of course. Plus, you get your personalized message on air. You can send in and mock the guys and defend me in that message, please and thank you.
It's going to be a long year.
Yeah, I'm going to press.
If the new move is defending Sklarov, defending your Sklarov.
I'm gonna when I send those emails to dazzling donors and say, please say very
You're
nice
gonna be
things.
I could really use a win here.
Please,
Luke and Andrew are teaming up on me.
Yeah, please mock the guys mercilessly. And then if you have the capacity and you want to do it, super generous. I mean, every gift is generous
and appreciated.
Truly,
For real.
Yeah. But if you have any need to do $100 a month, you get all the things from the Dazzler level plus the cameo message, if we can call it that.
I believe we call it the word up. We call it the word up message, where we will record a personal video for you or someone you love or someone
You
hate.
Wait, hold on.
I mean, we
have
will
not talked about the
honestly,
parameters of this. Wait
and
a
I would,
second.
and I will just speak for myself. Clothing optional. Really something to send to your nemesis.
Yeah, you must
A
really hate.
shirtless
Does
Luke
anybody
Burnett.
hate somebody that much? Is the
I hope not, for their soul.
No, we're taking that off the table. We clothing is not optional. You cannot request
Clothing is not. So
what
you're
we
saying
will
no
or will not
clothing.
be wearing.
No, you're saying clothing is mandatory. Because I believe what
Yes,
Andrew
exactly.
is saying.
I believe that the people recording the video message can decide the amount of and type of clothing that they are wearing, but we will record a video message for you or someone that you love, or maybe hate. But we got to talk to the lawyers.
What if
about
it's someone you think would like TBTL and you want them to listen? Maybe
that's definitely gonna be a shirt-on situation. I think. So those are the thank you gifts at the various different levels. I think we've covered most of it, other than
as there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run, and so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game.
But the real thing is, whatever amount that works for you is just that if you have not yet donated to TBTL, maybe this is the year for you to do that. If you have been donating, thank you. One other footnote: if you are donating at a level that you feel really good about and you want to keep that rolling, you can just do that, right, John? And you will receive the thank you gift at whatever level that is. On the other hand,
and you don't have to do anything. I just want
That's
to
right.
I really want to underscore
do less,
that.
as the kids say.
Yeah. So let's just say you're somebody who's giving currently at the $15 a month level, and you're like, I want to get that hat, and I want to keep on donating at that exact level. I'm already giving monthly. You don't have to do anything. You can go to the website and take a look at the hat you're going to be getting, but you don't have to fill anything out. It's only if you want to make a change to that.
Right. If you would like to maybe move up a level because you are eyeing that sweet, sweet Sluggers jersey, or you want that sweet, sweet word up video message from us, whatever level you might be moving to, that would be incredible. I want to point out that last year, we were really blown away by the generosity of the tens, and frankly relieved, because what it meant was we were able to keep doing this. We did not know last year when we were in my parents' basement. We've made it all the way from my parents' basement to my unfinished ADU kitchen. What a come up for a show. But we did not know last year if this was going to work. We were leaving 8 p.m. We were walking away from all that Carvana money. And by the way, I hear Carvana ads on other podcasts, and I just think, you poor son of a bitches.
It's not doing anything for you.
You sad people that are still using ad revenue. But we really went out on a limb last year, and the tens of listeners stepped up with so much generosity. And I know people really dug deep, and it meant so much to us. Again, not just because it meant we can still do this is a real thing. Mm-hmm. This is a business that we can do. But just because, again, you had a lot of people that were participating in donating to TBTL, but they had to stop one donation stream, start another one. We were asking a lot of people, and so that was incredible. Of course, because we are who we are, I immediately went from extreme gratitude about what people did to the last thon to abject and intense fear about what would happen in the next TBTL-a-thon, aka this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it might not feel as much like do or die. It might not feel like the show is going to go away if we don't donate. But I'm happy to tell you, the show will still go away if people don't donate. The same thing applies as last year, which is we can only do this because of people's generosity. Mm-hmm. We're already seeing some donations come in, and I just want to say, if you got in early, thank you very much. Even maybe members of my own family named David, who jumped in at the dazzling donation level. Mm-hmm. I was thinking that it might be some kind of a misclick from my brother David from the basement, who is now a dazzling donor, but he said to me, and this is legally binding, no givebacks. And I texted him to say, did you mean to do that? And he said, I did mean to do that. So shout out to the people who've already supported the show. Shout out to the people who will be supporting the show during this week. We appreciate you. We just want to be able to keep doing this for another year. So
can I jump in real quick with just one maintenance thing, not to my message, but people in the comments are asking this. Andrew, you said you're 100% right. If you're happy with the level you're at, you don't have to do a thing. We'll send you the gift. If you are T-shirt eligible, after the thon, we're going to send you some emails to get your size and what you want. So hang tight. If you're going to get the T-shirt, we'll notify you about that.
It was my understanding that we're sending everybody baby tees.
Onesies, actually.
That is that is something. No, yeah, for like sizing information for the shirts, that's going to happen after the thon. Whether you're donating at a new level or the same level or whatever, we're going to handle that all after the thon. And there are kind of unisex cuts and there are women's cuts in these T-shirts, and so you'll be able to make those decisions too. Don't worry about that right now.
I want to directly address something that Jacob Johnson just proposed in the comments. I wonder if you can use your dazzling donor message space to throw up a Carvana ad. Yes.
Oh wow.
The answer is a solid yes. If you would like to use, I mean, it's your nickel.
That's true.
It's your many nickels. It's your hundreds of nickels.
Speaking of the listeners, I don't know if we're ready for this yet, but I will say we have had a caller who's been on hold for 52
Wait a sec, Andrew.
minutes
Hold
now.
on. I've failed in my one job, which is to have this. Let's see, to spell the word ahoy correctly and have. Okay, I've got the audio ready.
Okay, so
Ready
let's
to
see who's.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Hi there. You are the first caller to this year's TB Telethon. What's your name?
We're keeping a tradition going. It's Max in Brooklyn.
Max,
Hey.
welcome back. Thank you. And by the way, way to keep like right on the edge of your seat. You've been sitting there for so long that it would not have been surprising if when we finally activated your line, you had fallen asleep or had gone out for a sandwich or something. You were like ready to go.
Absolutely. I'm always ready. So I have one thing first to a quick close a loop on the raglan sleeves conversation.
Yes, okay.
As a knitter, I understand it's a term of construction. When you have a sleeve that starts at the shoulder, that's a standard sleeve. The raglan sleeve actually starts at the collar and widens out from there, and that's what the raglan sleeve means. And that's that style.
So, but I'm right, Max.
No,
right?
no,
That's why
I think Max is disagreeing with you, right? Correct?
No. That is correct. It is a correct description of that style.
Vindication.
There's been comments about it being a contrasting color. It's about the construction of the sleeve to the rest of the torso of the shirt.
So in other words, so the sleeve does not start at the shoulder if it's raglan. It starts at the collar. So it's not a new there's not a seam at the shoulder. Like the shirt that I'm wearing right now it has a seam on the shoulder. It's a short sleeve shirt from J. Crew.
Right.
But the raglan is because it starts here and emanates down the arm. Okay. And by the way, I'm sure that for everyone who's going to donate, I was going to make a joke and say everyone in our audience who's a knitter will know exactly what John's talking about. I realized that's most of our audience.
Exactly.
We have a very, very high percentage of people that knit.
Which, by the way, we will be having a TBTL craft night tonight where you can show off your knitting projects or anything else.
What is it? I just crafted my pants?
TBTL presents I Just Crafted My Pants. And if you go to tbtl.net, if you haven't signed up to get your Zoom link yet, it, of course, is free. It's just a chance for us all to hang out tonight. I think tonight's gathering is at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And you just go to tbtl.net if you want to sign up for that. Are you going to be joining us for either one of those? We're doing it today and Wednesday, Max.
I am signed up for both. I am
Nice.
looking forward to it.
Excellent. Now,
I also wanted to.
Yeah. Well, what did you want to say
to
next, Max?
Let you know that I took 2 weeks ago. I took my first ever trip to Seattle.
You didn't tell
and
us?
You guys have a hell of a town out there.
Yeah. What did you do?
I was visiting a friend to basically do recon on his new girlfriend.
Oh.
Which
Interesting.
went well.
Nice.
Happy with the new girlfriend. Happy with his mindset.
Okay.
Now,
Now, how does he tell you, if you don't mind, though, how does he say, I need you to get eyes on this situation? I need you to do some, under deep cover, I need you to kind of like assess.
Oh, no, this was the other way around. This is a friend who just got out of a divorce about 8 months ago. And I was like, he does this thing where he jumps in quick and fast.
I don't know anything about
there
that.
To make sure he's not making that mistake again.
I see. So, in other words, he didn't ask you to do this. This was a self-appointed low-key mission.
Correct.
But you've decided that this is not another case of him just rebounding into something overly serious. You actually feel like this was a good call.
Yeah, I think it's a good relationship for the time being. If it grows into something else, great. If not, he's going to be fine.
What were you practicing a speech that you were going to give if you felt like this wasn't the healthiest
Great question, Andrew.
relationship for him?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I talked to a couple of our mutual friends. This is my best friend who I met in grad school, and I was talking to another friend. I was like, listen, I'm willing to risk our friendship for the next 5 years if it means getting you to not make the same mistake again. If you have to make that, if that breaks us for 5 years, I know I'll be here waiting when you come to your that was the pitch.
And so you were going to start, if this seemed to you to be a bad match, you were going to say, this is a bad match, and I'm willing to suffer the fallout of our friendship just to really kind of let you know that I think it's not in your best interest. Without getting too specific, too loud or too specific, what were you looking for to indicate to you that this was a bad idea for your friend?
Mostly it was sort of how he was approaching the relationship, and he talked to me specifically about saying, like, I know I just got out of this thing. Mm-hmm. I know I have this habit. I really like this woman, but I don't know if this is the forever thing. She's really great for me now. And hearing that from him gave me confidence to be able to assess her on her own terms. And then she was a really, really lovely person.
Were you almost disappointed that you couldn't give the speech that you practiced?
I was a little disappointed because I thought it was going to be a really powerful moment. But I was ultimately, and in the long run, very relieved that I didn't have to risk one of my closest friendships in the world.
How do you feel about Julia Roberts playing you in the movie version of this? Because it does seem like definitely there's been a movie where Julia Roberts has to tell Cameron Diaz that the person that she's dating is a bad fit, and it's okay if it means they can't be friends for 5 years. And it's either a Dermot Mulrooney or a Declan McDonald.
I don't think either of those are people, just for the record.
Well, agree to disagree.
And as you know, I'm an actor. I'm playing myself in the movie.
Yes, you are.
Right.
Yes, you are. Hey, how's that going, by the way? Was it last Thon or the one before where I believe you were checking in from the South where you were part of a stage production?
Yes, I was in a play. I was in Alabama last year when we chatted, and I am gearing up to make my off-Broadway debut in just a couple of weeks.
What's the show?
It's called The Sabbath Girl. It's going to be at 59 East 59 Theaters. Thanks for letting me plug for
Absolutely.
a moment. Yeah, and it's a sweet rom-com musical. It's 5 actors, a piano, and a cello.
That's great. It's called The Sabbath Girl?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's at 5959. That's the theater?
Yeah, 59 East 59.
That's
the address and the name of the theater.
Easy to remember. That's actually very smart. All right, everybody, if you're passing through New York or you live in New York, go see Max in The Sabbath Girl.
Yeah, come check it out. After you go to tbtl.net and donate,
yes,
then you
thank
can
you.
Do a Bing search for The Sabbath Girl and find tickets there.
Okay. Excellent.
Thank
Max,
you, Max.
Thank you very much for being part of TBTL.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for calling in again, and good luck on the show, man. Break a leg.
Thanks.
Bye, Max.
All right, my friends. I don't think we can avoid it any longer. And by my friends, I mean you, too. My colleagues, friends, and colleagues.
I thought I was off the hook for a second.
There's a sort of an elephant in the room that we have not really been discussing, and it's, in fact, right out of the frame of the shot here. And what it is a tremendously large number of beads.
Doesn't look like anything to me.
I think it's about 50,000,
Bees?
actually.
Beads. How many do you think it is, John?
Legitimately, it's about 50,000.
50,000
It's a
beads.
big number.
Is that really 50,000?
Yeah.
That we...
Yeah.
What's the street value of that?
God, what is the street value of this mountain? I mean, it is legitimately a mountain of beads that we, I guess, are going to be making into hundreds and possibly thousands. I mean, ideally thousands of thank you bracelets, of friendship bracelets, I should say, related to this TBTL-a-thon. As we've already mentioned, anybody who donates at any level is going to receive a handmade by one of the three of us friendship bracelet, a TBTL friendship bracelet. Now, I think one of the things that I was sort of imagining was that this table that we're working at, which I thought was like enormous. It's a piece of wood from my friend Toby's house on Vashon, his property. He brought it by one day, and I thought was more than ample for our purposes. I thought we were each going to have like our computers and then a bracelet making workstation. And somehow in my mind, I thought we were going to just be making bracelets throughout the show. And just like it was going to become so second nature that we could keep talking and making, which, by the way, is belied by my experience at all yesterday when John was trying to play the audio of the Yankees game. And I said, Kayate.
Have you?
I was like, I can't think about setting up the show and listen to the Yankees at the same time.
Have you ever heard me try to talk when all I'm trying to do is talk?
I mean, it makes no sense.
Great.
It makes no sense, my idea that we were going to be making bracelets as we were talking, but that was part of how I thought we were going to get to the finish line on this, was that this room we're in, the Madrona Hill studio, was going to just be a constant sort of like churn of friendship bracelet making. And I'm already realizing that doesn't work because we are doing the show and we can't concentrate. And then the other thing that makes me nervous is when the show is over and we would transition into what will be bracelet making time, it is going to be getting increasingly hot. I know it's like feels fine right now.
It's so fine right now. It's
It
actually
is.
perfect right now.
It is very nice. But if you remember yesterday, towards the end of the day, it did get pretty toasty in here.
Yeah, definitely.
It just doesn't feel like ideal bracelet making weather when the show is off the air.
Sure.
So this is not me trying to wriggle off the hook on this, but this is me saying the listeners' fears may have been somewhat well-founded. I am now a little more daunted by this project than I was before we started. I'm daunted by this project in a way that I wasn't before we started. So I guess I just wanted to say, how are we all feeling, the three of us, the two of you?
Well, I'll tell you what. I was just mesmerized by something outside your window, which can also help us in this situation.
Oh, good.
I'm looking out.
Is it a person who's volunteering to make bracelets?
I think it's
Is it my neighbor Brian?
It's somebody I'm thinking we can volunteer to help us, because I was just watching like literally an idyllic scene of a little boy. I'm going to put him at maybe age 6 or 7.
Okay.
I don't know if you
Love
know
it.
your neighbors over there, but they're not in sight right now. But it was a little boy playing with his dog, and it was like some sort of I don't know, like a kind of I was going to say a full-size dog. I've been on it's like a standard
It's a
size.
mid-size?
It's a mid-size dog, but
You
John
upgrade it?
has a way to upgrade it.
Cool.
But Willis? I don't know. It's some sort of like a black labby-sized dog, although I don't think it was a black lab. It was a black dog. And I just saw this little boy like kind of let the dog like kind of out of his little
he did it?
And then he was like running around. The dog was chasing him. They were playing together. And I'm like, that is such a nice thing to watch while we're podcasting. And then I thought, that kid's got small hands. He could make a lot of bracelets for us, and I can play with this dog while he does it.
Are you proposing we kidnap a
No.
No,
We're letting him in on an opportunity.
No, he's being frienditioned.
He's being frienditioned. Exactly.
Frienditioned.
All right, more to your point, though, I just needed to share what I saw because it was very idyllic. I love where you live here, Luke. It's very nice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that noise?
It's the growing anxiety I have around us trying to get this project done.
I thought it was
because
about your yard. Okay,
No.
There's a lot of beads there.
There's a lot of beads.
We got to get started this afternoon. I mean, the good news is you kept saying that, like me and John have a lot of work this afternoon. I think I'm relatively clear. I know I'm the one with the kind of funky hands here, and I don't mean that in the kind of the
funky little hands.
I used to tour. I used to tour with James Brown. I was the funky hands guy. Yeah. Then I tried to do my own.
Chicken foot open for you guys,
I tried
right?
to do my own thing. It did not. Turns out I really needed James Brown. But anyway, like I have some time this afternoon, certainly. And if things get really, really hot here, I mean, I guess we could go our separate ways with a little stash of beads. I could go to my hotel room.
This
but
was
that's
my
kinda
idea.
sad. I don't want to do
This
that.
was my idea. We are having a Zoom tonight based around the premise of crafting. And we must have tens who know how to do this. And I guess what I'm wondering is, can we, and this also forestalls us making any bracelets for another 10 hours. Can some tens please Zoom in tonight at 6 p.m. West Coast for the I crafted my pants Zoom session? And can someone kind of show us how to do this on Zoom? I'm a visual learner.
Yeah, honestly, me too. That is one thing. Genevieve was concerned for us before I left here on Sunday. So Saturday night, Genevieve went to. She's just like had this like sort of anxiety about this project, and I
know
just
what?
keep on
That's
saying
so sweet.
It is very sweet. I'm like, it's fine, it's fine. She's like, do you know how to make them? I'm like, no. Somebody like kind of gave us these spinner things. She's like, do you know how to use them? I'm like, no. She's like, you need needles. I'm like, I don't know how needles come into this. She's she's like, you need needles to do this. And she's like, so she went to Joann Fabrics and
Yes.
came home with a couple of extra bead making needles and another spinner for us, which I don't know if we need to expense that or not, or if that's just a gift from Genevieve to us. But anyway, so like
Expensive to the UW.
That's right. Thank you,
They have
taxpayers.
boundless beads.
Hey, Boundless Beads.
I love that.
Ding. That's a
Nice
show
job.
title.
So anyway, so I would love that because I gotta say, Genevieve brought the spinner home and I'm staring at it and I'm like, shit, man, I really don't know. I really don't even. I have no idea how this is even supposed to work.
What about following Alana's idea, or maybe Alana saying every donor gets a make your own bracelet kit?
That's what I've seen some other people say that too.
I
We
mean, you
just
know what
send,
that would
like,
be?
a package of
You know what that would be
beads.
like? Every single thing that I've been ordering for the house, because there's so much stuff that I need still, because I moved down here without a whole lot of possessions. It's all disassembled when it shows up.
Yeah.
And as I'm assembling yet another weird little kind of like, piece of outdoor furniture or something, I think I am becoming a professional installer of assembler, basically like assembler of things, even though, I've paid money for these things, but they all show up in the most complex or compact version. What if people just got the beads and it was like a do-it-yourself
Imagine
friendship bracelet kit?
Imagine Walt opening that bag. What is he going to say?
Chinese bullshit.
He's like, oh,
Chinese bullshit.
My friendship bracelet is here, and he opens it up, and there's a bunch of loose beads with a little piece of string in
Oh
there.
man, he would shoot through the roof with his Chinese. So I think this should be the plan. I think tonight let's get some coaching, some mentorship from the Tens. So that's a good reason for everybody to zoom in tonight. And then maybe what we can all do is the three of us, and again, Andrew, I want to be really clear about this. I don't want to overdo it on saying this to you, but I also want to just say, please do not do anything that will make the condition right now of your hands and wrists and stuff worse. That is such a bad use of the limited functionality that you're dealing with right now. I really and truly.
Well, I don't know what's involved with these things. Like, I tell you what, if this was a push-up contest, I would definitely be out on that. I probably would be anyway. I don't know how this is going to affect what's going on with my hands, but I'm willing to at least try.
Well, because what I was thinking is after we get coached up tonight, then the three of us will take some beads and beads, and we'll take our spinners, and we'll just kind of tonight maybe some of us over a cold brew, we will try to make some of these bracelets. And tomorrow on the show we can kind of we can basically do a little bit of a tally of like how many bracelets total we've made between the three of us to do it like an assessment of how we're doing in terms of the progress. Like, does it seem like we're anywhere near the pace we need to be?
And what I would like to do, and maybe if we can get this set up, maybe we can unveil it on tomorrow's show or during tomorrow's show. But I told you in the weeks leading up to this that I had a dream of creating a bead cam or a bracelet cam. Beads, a bracelet cam. So you have a jar that we can start stacking these bracelets up in once we're, or not stacking, but that we can start placing the bracelets in once we're done assembling them. And we are efforting. I love using that as a verb. It just makes me sound so cool. Don't tell the Jeep boys I said that. We are efforting to see if we can get a 24/7 bead cam or bracelet cam going so that at any time of the day or night, people can tune in to tbtl.net and see how we're doing with filling up this jar full of bracelets.
Yeah, that's right. A 24-hour feed. Remember Subservient Chicken?
Yes.
It's that of friendship bracelets.
What was the fast food chain again?
Burger King.
Boudreaux, right? Yeah.
Boudreaux. So yes, that I guess that's going to be the plan. Is tonight we will try to learn the ways of the friendship bracelet, and then we will go forth and try to start making them. I had this number in my head that like if John and I can each make 50 a day. If my boy says he can make 50 bracelets, he can make 50 bracelets. 50 a day, each of us is 100. I don't know. That only brings us to we're already losing Monday. It would only be 500 at the end of the week. Which if we're only making 500 bracelets, this has been a very bad TBTL.
Yeah, we need to triple more than
easily.
Triple that.
I think last year. I don't know if maybe this is a bad idea, John, to get into specifics, but I think maybe last year the number of people who interacted with the thon was in the neighborhood of 1,500.
Yeah, we need 300 to 400 a day, including today, to do this.
Okay. Well,
we just glue them together. Probably not.
Was there 2 kids out there playing with the dog?
I don't know.
Can the dog do
I was
it?
going to
Yes.
say 1 kid, 1 dog, but the dog had fingers.
Actually, you know what? This is an interesting. A dog versus Andrew.
All right.
Facing off
I
for
deserve
the.
that.
All right, so that is going to be the plan
Okay.
for the bracelets. We will get there by hook or by crook. Or by dog, we will make these things because we promised it to you. And if there's one thing about the TBTL-a-thon, since I stopped being in charge of fulfillment, it's that a TBTL always pays its debts. Not counting the first 5 years of thons when I was in charge of the T-shirt fulfillment. Since John got here, it's actually been very above board.
Well, it's only 1 year so far, so like maybe let's hold out hope until it happens.
I've been thinking about it, and I think it might have been a Portuguese water dog. Is that a thing?
Yes. Yeah, Bo.
Yeah, beautiful.
Bo. Obama.
Obama. Right.
Was a Portuguese water
it was
dog.
About that dog. It was like it was about that size, I should say. It was a black dog. It looked like it had curly
I'll get
hair.
eyes on it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could
you
be a
know,
Labradoodle.
Yes, it could have been a Labradoodle.
It's funny because I don't think I've ever. What I know about those neighbors, they're the ones with the huge lawn, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice.
I think it's very interesting because they do not. They're the only people around here who do not use a riding lawnmower.
Oh, interesting.
And I think it is to keep active. I would say that they're folks that are probably in the neighborhood of my parents' age.
Oh, so that might be a grandchild I see over there.
I believe
running
so.
around.
And the guy and oftentimes his wife are out there. They take shifts. They push mow, as you would say,
Oh,
Andrew,
wow,
that
yeah.
whole huge yard. And again, I think that is a very intentional decision to just have a built-in reason to
I like it.
be out there walking and working every day. And I am impressed by it. I use the riding mower around here because
you use a drone.
I do. Oh, hey, can we tomorrow talk about the great drone disaster of Angle
That's right.
Lake?
We got to get to a top story
located
tomorrow.
in SeaTac, Washington.
We do have to talk
this
about that.
story has everything: drones, water,
the rest,
other things, crab rangoon, things of that nature, audio of someone watching the drones. I've got a hot take about the great drone disaster of Angle Lake, which I'd like to share with you on tomorrow's program.
I'm excited for that.
All right. I think we should probably go ahead and wrap things up for today's edition of the show. It sounds like you want to say one other thing.
I was just going to say, I feel like I was not a good steward of the phone calls today. I wanted to spend a half hour roasting John about Jeep etiquette, so I apologize for that. It was great talking to Max, but I
We'll
see
take
a
more calls
lot of
tomorrow.
people were trying to call in. So
We will
tomorrow
take
we
more
will
calls
definitely,
tomorrow, I
get
promise.
more calls in. Sorry about
I'm
that.
sorry. I had a lot of energy today. Too much energy.
Yeah, I think
we're coming in
we're
hot.
all pretty excited.
Can I? There were some questions in the chat. I don't know if we addressed this about the theme music for the thon. I feel like we gotta give some love there.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Leanie, our friend, prom queen, aka Leanie, has made. Can I just do this? Can I just give a couple of examples of? So first of all, we've got the theme song, which I'm just going to play again because it's just so good. It's so nice. They played it twice.
Thank you for being a 10. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Should we use this as the theme music all week?
Yeah, maybe.
I just feel like it's so strong.
Everyone you knew.
Also, I don't think it'll get us pulled down because it's Leanie's rendition.
right, yeah.
So it's.
This gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, "Thank you for being a 10."
Andrew, what's the best place if you were trying to find our friend Celine, aka Leanie, aka Prom Queen? Would you go on the Instagram? Would you go to Leanie's website? How do we send some love? Everyone go buy whatever Leanie is selling because she's the absolute best.
I will talk to Celine tonight and ask her what the best place for everybody to find a roundup of her projects is. But I do want to shout out what I believe to be is her latest project, which is a musical project called Stargazer. That's Stargazr, and it's a bit of a super group from musicians in this area that I believe Leanie has sort of coordinated herself, and they just dropped a brand new record, I want to say like last week or 2 weeks ago, and it is really, really cool. I want to sort of riff here, and I know that there are some members of Taco Cat in there. I can't remember the other projects off the top of my head.
We know Taco Cat.
Is that special at Taco Time?
You
probably ordered it, you weirdo.
But anyway, definitely definitely check out Stargazer Music on Instagram, Prom Queen on Instagram, and I'll figure out the other places that Leanie wants you to go. But yeah, and I just want to thank. We asked Celine a long time ago if she could do something for us, and she did. And it's just like it's even better than I could possibly imagine.
And
thank
Celine,
you so much.
Also gave us a version of the song that I can talk over. That's just like this.
Thank you for being a 10.
And then it's instrumental. Listen how beautiful that is. And one other thing we got from our friend Brian in Portland, he also unsolicited submitted a little sound kind of tag for us, which is this one.
Thank you for being a 10.
Wow.
Which is also very, very cool.
Sting.
So
call that a sting in the
yeah.
business.
Oh, right. Yes. It's been so long since I've worked in
beekeeping business. We call that a sting.
Beads. So thanks so much, Celine, and also thanks, Brian, for your help. And thank you all for hanging out with us today. Thanks to everybody who has already jumped in to support us, and thanks to everyone who is going to do that. Maybe for the first time this year. That would be incredible. Even if it's, I don't know, $5 a month. If you've never donated before, any level you can get in on would be huge and very, very much appreciated. We're going to be back here tonight for I Just Crafted My Pants, starting at 6 p.m. West Coast. Our good friend Jen will be riding along with us of the Making app.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
If there's anybody who knows from crafts, it's our friend Jen. So please hang out with us tonight as well for the Zoom. And I guess in the meantime, I will say have a great Monday. And please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Power out.